This is CHSR 97.9 FM here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, and you're listening to Python's Paradise, your film and music show. This is your DJ, Python Hyena. And unfortunately, Shiloh 6 unable to join us today, but he was hoping to chat with Uwe Boll, but got called away on some very urgent business. But I certainly got some questions. My guest today is Uwe Boll, and very happy to have him. How you doing, Uwe?
No, I'm good. I'm in Vancouver right now, and right now I'm sitting at my desk, and I did my email till you called.
Well, you go back and forth between Germany and Vancouver, huh?
Yeah, correct. Over the summer, I was with the whole family in Germany, and now we're back here, and we will stay till late spring next year.
Well, I'll tell you, it's an honor to have you on here. I really appreciate having you on here.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Every time I think of Germany, I think of, and you'll probably remember this, that singer Nina who sang 99 Red Balloons.
Absolutely. She's, by the way, still around. She still makes some music, but she didn't have a big hit for a long time now.
Did you ever meet her?
No, not in person.
I like that whole CD. I know she's a one-hit wonder, but that whole CD is fantastic.
I agree. She was one of the few female stars from Germany, actually. You know, before her there was maybe only the punk star Nina Hagen, but that was like 15 years before her. And now it's, I don't know. I'm not following up too much the German pop music, basically.
I know she did a song that's just signified by a question mark, and I think that's my favorite song on that CD. I think she just calls it Question. I don't know.
Okay. I don't. Maybe if I hear it, I would remember, but like out of my head, I don't know.
There you go. Well, I'm going to start off here by talking about your Kickstarter campaign. I'm going to say this. Despite any criticism people thrown at you, I actually, and Shiloh would say the same thing. We're in agreement with you. Because, you know, you went on a rant on Kickstarter for Rampage 3, trying to raise money. And you mentioned some stuff I'm in agreement with in terms of marketing and what audiences go to see. Because I find a lot today, people go to what they're told to as opposed to, you know, something that's really good. So as a result, you know, Ex Machina doesn't make as much money as, say, Jurassic World. Am I hitting it right there?
No, absolutely. I mean, it was never really different. Like the big commercial movies with the most advertising always made the most money. But I think in the 80s, even in the early 90s, a lot of movies developed also still with word of mouth. And all that basically dissolved, you know. Also later with the dissolving of Blockbuster, of going actually in a store, looking at the covers of DVDs or VHS tapes and renting them, it is highly unlikely that you outperform on iTunes, for example, right? It's like a different world in a way, and people just scroll to the top 10 list on new releases, and Netflix and whatever they put under new releases mostly the major movies and major productions. So it's this self-fulfilling prophecy that basically the independent movies dissolve. And independent movies, I mean movies not made by $100,000 trash amateur horror filmers doing found footage movies, because that is also in the market since you can shoot cheap on video. We have an invasion of movies. Nobody really wants them, needs them, and they shouldn't get made. But we cannot stop people from just trying it. But from real independent movies, I would say they start at $600,000-$700,000 budget up to $10 million. And that specific kind of movie with some cast, with professional crew, whatever, dissolves.
I agree.
And then the few Oscar contenders, basically made with A-list stars, backed by A-list distribution companies, that is what survives. And it's a shame.
Yep, I agree with you. And I remember you mentioned, I've read some stuff up on you. I agree with you on Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I would say if you would have a great director doing this kind of movies, like a different director, they would also always have that big success. Because if you spend $250 million and you basically spend over $150 million in releasing a movie, any movie would be a big success.
well, I'll tell you something. There's a lot of really great directors that seem to be disappearing. Brian De Palma, David Cronenberg, great directors, and their movies are going direct to video or really limited release, and I find it so insulting. Even Kevin Smith struggling with this.
Yes. No, it's like look at John Carpenter, you know.
John Carpenter, another great.
Never did a movie again. I mean, it's almost like I remember when I was young. There was we were all upset that a guy like Orson Welles never could get financing for his movies, even if he made the highest-ranked movie in film history,
Citizen Kane.
And he still had huge problems to finance any of his movies. And that is kind of, was for me always very shocking. But now, in days like today, we have so many movies, directors with credits, like from classics, basically, who doesn't get any jobs anymore. They cannot get a movie made. And then, like, look, Cronenberg, The Map to the Stars.
Agreed.
I totally loved it. You know, I loved that movie, what he did.
We didn't even get it here.
No, I watched it. I actually watched it at a screening here from the Directors Guild, and but it's now on VOD also, so you can see it online. And I think that is the best satire parody on Hollywood. What is going on now, right there, after The Player from Robert Altman, and it's just a great movie, and nobody cared. Like. I don't get it. It's I don't know what they should do. They had good stars, Julianne Moore, John Cusack. The movie is great, and yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
Happened with the movie, it totally tanked, and that is the thing. What is worrying me, you know, that things totally dissolve, even if they are really, really good.
Here's something I want to bring.
Yeah. You know, I just watched yesterday. I watched Captive or whatever from Atom Egoyan with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, that was great. Yeah.
And it totally flopped. You know, like nobody watched that movie.
Yeah,
I just
nobody
watched
would.
it yesterday on VOD, and it's a really good movie.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. Good director, good movie. I saw that last year, and I don't even know whether any place in the States even got it.
No, I agree. And it's kind of strange because, I mean, Ryan Reynolds is a real name in it.
Absolutely.
You know, and then the other guys, I mean, you have other actors in it, like there were like 3 or 4 other okay, good names with it. So, and for me, it was not so gritty as Prisoners with Hugh Jackman, that movie.
Okay.
So, you know, that was maybe harder and overall more engaging. But it was a similar movie.
Agreed, yep.
You know, a similar movie, and it didn't make any business at all. I don't think it was even in the movie theaters. I don't know, but
it was. I saw it up at Cineplex. We only had it for like a week or something like that.
Yeah. But the box office was like next to nothing. So, and that is the thing. What concerns me is like movie lovers more and more are stranded on VOD, and but for the movie producers, look at me. It is almost impossible to make movies. It's like you cannot refinance it. That was the reason for me with the Kickstarter to get some additional money for Rampage 3 to get that movie made. I want to finish the Rampage story with a big action sequence. You know, it will be the last Rampage movie too, and And that made me so upset, that a movie, what is really a good movie, Rampage 1 and Rampage 2, and still you don't even get $50,000 together on Kickstarter for part 3 is kind of a thing where you feel like, why making movies?
I'm going to say
why I should keep doing it, It's just like really frustrating.
I'm going to say one thing in your defense, and I know that you were probably angry at the time, but I know when you were on your rant, I know you weren't referring to the people that were already supporting you.
No, of course not.
I know there were some people made some snarky comments saying, what about the people support? I get it. I'm going to tell you a little story. And you said something about Hollywood only supporting Hollywood. And Shiloh and I, remember when the Ice Bucket Challenge took part last year?
Yes.
The big thing. Shiloh and I did one of those challenges for whipping childhood cancer and Doubtfire Face, which was one was for depression and one was for childhood cancer.
Yeah.
And I nominated 10 celebrities, mostly female ones, because it involved taking a pie in the face, and I think it's funnier to see women do that than men. But nonetheless, I nominated people I liked, and I threw a nomination out to actually Movie Guide. I nominated Evie, one of the females at that faith and film criticism sites, and I actually asked her before I nominated her if she'd do it if I nominated her, and she said I'd have to nominate her first. So I went, and Shiloh and I got all messed up, and we did that, and we sent our nominations out, and then she tells us there's no way she's not going to do this, but she hopes it takes off, and yet she interviewed most of the people I nominated. So basically, anything that comes out of her mouth, I can't believe anymore. And the sad thing is, I had people telling Shiloh and I we should only nominate local people, and I'm like, but people went and watched the Ice Bucket Challenge because celebrities were doing it. And it was like, the Talia Angels, they did the same challenged Ellen and Angelina Jolie, and there was about a dozen of them, no response. But yeah, if a celebrity nominates a celebrity, they hear that.
Exactly.
And that really pissed both of us off, because it would have been fun to see another challenge get supported. And instead, because we're not rich enough or not famous enough, we're not allowed to nominate celebrities, and I think that's bogus.
I mean, of course, you have to see from the other perspective, celebrities getting non-stop, like whatever, that people want to do interviews with them, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like they have to filter, right? But if it's something what is obviously good, what is obviously helping other people, then it's kind of frustrating to see how they block everything out. I mean, I had the same when I did the Darfur movie, what is out under Attack on Darfur in U.S. It was during the Sudan massacre, where millions of people got hacked in pieces, killed, etc. And I made the movie. The movie turned out really, really good. And it could change way more as the documentary from George Clooney. It could really change the point of view of a lot of people about it, and that we need blue helmet soldiers to stop the killings. And and then I had the guy who did Hotel Rwanda. He loved it.
Okay.
But so we sent the movie to, because Brad Pitt was really involved, Matt Damon, et cetera, et cetera. So we sent them the DVD. We said, look, give us just a quote. We put it on the DVD cover. We put it on the movie poster, if you like the movie or not. And not Pitt, not Clooney, not Don Cheadle, not Matt Damon responded at all. And we sent DVDs to the management, the agency, the publicist, the attorney. And don't forget, I had quotes from Ron Howard saying that it's the best movie of Africa. Amnesty International said that is the best movie about Africa ever shot. You know, we had quotes from top levels. And they still didn't give a shit about it. And that made me think about that the craziness, exactly how you just said it. It's if it doesn't fit their, if it doesn't help their PR situation, they actually give a shit about what's going on. So George Clooney, who acts like he's super interested in what's going on in Darfur, gives a shit about the only feature movie shot about the massacres and actually deliver to open your mind. When you watch it, you think we have to do something about it. And so he completely ignored the movie. You know, and that showed me how Hollywood just functions.
Yeah,
you know, it's all about the money. And a lot of things is also like when, for example, I try to have a thriller 12 hours. And I try to get a known actor for it, like Nicolas Cage or so. Okay. And, I mean, you make an offer, and they don't even take it serious. Even if you say, like, I can pay that money, and I can pay it in full, you know. So, and they still use your offer only to leverage other offers. And that is the other thing. What is the other side? It's like, you, me, whatever, all people who watch a lot of movies, we wonder a lot of times, like, why they play in this kind of stupid, idiotic movies over and over again.
Agreed.
You know, like a Bruce Willis or Nicolas Cage or John Cusack, they played tons of shit action movies, but they passed then on like my Assault on Wall Street movie, what is really, really good. You know, where the script is just better and they would get the same amount of money for it to play that movie. But no, because they always play with the same producers, they're getting, and because all the agencies, managements are all under the blanket with the same producers over and over again. And then they're shooting bullshit movies over and over again because it's the same finances, etc. And they don't even read that other scripts, even if the offer is on the table. And that is very, 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 very negative. You know, that is the thing, like producers like me who are not like, let's say, small newcomers. I did a lot of movies, and we did bigger movies, and we still getting like basically selected out as, no, we don't want to work with him, you know. And then here's the B list. The actor, you know, and if you shoot the movies, the same movies, like with the Christian Slaters and Ray Liotta's and people like this, you're not getting the sales, you're not getting the traction, you don't get the theatrical release anymore.
That's sad. But yet they'll rush out and work with Michael Bay.
That is totally pissing me off, right? So it's totally pissing me off that I really think like that kind of movies. I told to myself, I will not do that movies anymore as long as I don't get the A-list name for a reasonable price, you know, like not for I mean, I can hire Bruce Willis tomorrow if I give him $10 million for 2 weeks. But then you also lose all your money. So you have to get him for the same price he's doing the other movies with. So that is the thing, you know. And, but that is the situation of the industry. And, I mean, I watch a lot of VOD, like Netflix and stuff. I basically watch all the movies when I sit on my desk. And most of the movies are so bad, they're so forgettable also. And you have, like, known faces over and over again. You think, oh, that, Mark Ruffalo here and Woody Harrelson there and whatever. And even great actors. But then they play in, like, forgettable, unimportant movies.
The saddest thing I saw this year, and Shiloh will agree with me if he was here, was seeing a great director like Cameron Crowe make a massive piece of shit like Aloha.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I did watch it so far. I will watch it as soon as it's on VOD.
It was bad.
Yeah. But look at Paul Thomas Anderson.
I do like him.
That guy made with Boogie Nights and There Will Be Blood, two of my favorite movies of all time. I think There Will Be Blood is actually my favorite movie of the last 10 years.
Agree.
And
they're both terrific.
Since Megan Ellison is like feeding him with her money, he's shooting one piece of shit after the other with top stars, with enormous, like Excellent, of course, camera, excellent costume design, excellent art directing. Just saw that the Joaquin Phoenix movie that we're Into the Furnace or whatever it is, and The Master I watched also before. But the movies are completely shit. They are forgettable, boring pieces of shit without story. And every well-known actor is playing. They're accepting anything. Paul Thomas Anderson, I'm in. Not even reading the script. And then that movies are so horrific, but because of all the actors in it and because it's Paul Thomas Anderson, they still get the theatrical release, and then the audience decides, no, it's shit, and nobody watches it. So it's amazing. But all that kind of people, also the super billionaires like Megan Ellison, people like that just without working on their own, just getting the money from Puppy, they destroying the movie business too, because they overpaying and flooding the market with money. If they make the sales or not, they don't really care, because her father has $50 billion. So, if you make a $50 million movie and you earn $20 million back, or you earn $10 million back, or you earn $60 million back, is for them like pocket change. They make in interest on their money a year $1 billion. So that is really like very frustrating for all the people like the John Carpenters and the Brian De Palmas and me and then people like trying to make movies and refinance the movies in the market. That is the thing.
I got to ask you about some of your movies. I know Shiloh asked me to ask you what it was like to do House of the Dead.
Yeah, that was the first movie I ever did based on a video game, and I got approached by Mindfire Entertainment, who had the rights. They had the Sega already approved the script, and I felt, okay, I'm a zombie fan. Let's do a zombie movie. And that was before Resident Evil, right? So that was like basically with House of the Dead. After this, a lot of zombie stuff came back. Even George R. Romero started doing zombie movies again. And
The Walking Dead.
When we started it with House of the Dead, I made the zombies faster. I felt like that doesn't work anymore in the old days where the zombies were only running like Teletubbies, basically, and I felt like make the zombies faster and more violent. And so we did the movie. Of course, it's a cheesy movie, but it's very bloody. It's full of action, and I think we fulfilled what it is to make a fast zombie movie based on that video game. And financially, that was the most successful video game adaptation I ever did. It made way more money back as it cost, and but it was the reason at the beginning why I shot more video game-based movies.
You worked with Clint Howard in that. What was he like to work with?
Yeah, he was since then in a lot of my movies, and he was in Heart of America. He was even in Assault on Wall Street. Clint is a good friend. I played table tennis against him, and I beat him. We were betting who's better. And, Clint is a great friend, and I love working with him, similar to Michael Paré. Always when I'm in L.A., I try to meet them. And, he's super easy, he has so much routine. He made so many since he's a child, similar to Ron Howard, right? Since a child, acting and later directing and so on. So it's a pleasure to work with him.
You also worked with Erica Durance in that movie as well. What was she like?
When we shot House of the Dead, she was a nobody, and then she turned into a bigger star with what was it, the TV show again?
I'm trying to think. Was it Not Smallville.
Smallville.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. And then, so she got all the press because she was naked in the movie, and then she turned into a Smallville star. And everybody was like gossiping about her doing nudity in House of the Dead, but that was really before.
How do you approach somebody like her to do nudity? Do you have a strategy, or do they just go with it, or were they uncomfortable?
I mean, that specific part, it was really written like this, a little like what you have in Jaws in the beginning when the female swimmer gets killed.
Okay.
So it's the agent knows at this point, okay, we go for it or we don't. But I think she did it and regretted it later because then her name got bigger, and then she would not did it 6 months later. But it is what it is. She had to get the money, and for nudity you pay some extra money. So she was then okay with it.
I always find some of these actresses like Cameron Diaz in Sex Tape and Jennifer Lopez in Boy Next Door. They're doing roles that require nudity, but they won't do nudity. Yet Hollywood gives them these roles. Yet Heather Graham, somebody I think is more talented than they are, will do nudity, and they won't give her the parts. No,
I know. I mean, that is specific. I mean, Heather Graham is in the rankings clearly under Jennifer Lopez and Cameron Diaz. She also, I loved her, for example, in Bowfinger.
Oh, she was great in that. Yes.
I loved it. And I think also that it's great that she is so ruthless. Also in Boogie Nights, so
yeah, Roller Girl.
That part, I totally love it. But her salary or ranking, I mean, you get her for pennies on the dollar in comparison to Cameron Diaz and Jennifer Lopez. That is how the business works. It's kind of crazy. But for example, in my Heart of America movie is Elizabeth Moss, who is now a big star. Because of Mad Men and West Wing before. And it was one, I think I gave her the first real movie part in my drama Heart of America. But then when she turned into a star, we offered the movie again, and nobody gave a shit.
Wow.
I was like, but look, she's a madman worldwide. She's the lead. One of the three leads, but nobody gave a shit, and nobody bought the movie, even if it's a good movie, but it's a drama about school violence, and then a lot of people were like, oh, yeah, forget it.
You also worked with Ellie Cornell in House of the Dead as well. She was in some of the Halloween sequels.
Yeah, that was my homage to the Halloween sequels and getting some horror icons, trying to get them into the movie, So it's like why we have Bill Moseley in Alone in the Dark 2 and stuff like this.
Yeah, you had PJ Souls in that. I love her.
Yeah.
What was she like to work with?
No, she's also super easy. That is the thing. Like when you have same like Lance Henriksen, like people like this,
yep.
They are professionals. And a lot of times really like just a pleasure to work with. And more complicated is people, they cannot stand what happened to them when they're disappointed about the career, and so they let you feel like, they let you feel like, oh, I do that only because of the money here. And I think that is a very ridiculous and bad attitude.
Yeah, I'm a big PJ Souls fan. I loved her in so many things dating back with Halloween and Rock and Roll High School. I mean, she is awesome.
Yeah.
Another film you did, Alone in the Dark, and this is another one Shiloh really enjoyed. What was it like working with Tara Reid?
I mean, she, as a person, besides she's not super bright, right? So, but as a person, she's actually very nice. It's not that she fucks up things on purpose or something, but for that specific film, if it's not a comedy, but to be honest, also in American Pie, she was the only one who was never funny.
I liked her in American Pie and The Big Lebowski. Those are two films that she was. I loved her in those two films right there.
Yeah, The Big Lebowski, I agree. I mean, in American Pie, she was good, but her part was not like Stifler or something,
exactly.
where you were like, that is a real comedy part. She was more the normal girl there. And in Alone in the Dark, I think it just didn't work out. It was not. It's not her style of movie. And if she is like in Sharknado or something, something what nobody wants to take serious to begin with, that is a different situation.
Yeah, you worked with Christian Slater in that as well.
Yes, he was super good to work with.
Yeah. So overall, what was it like to make Alone in the Dark?
Excellent. I mean, I loved, in the beginning was a little tension also with Stephen Dorff. He was like a little acting up the first 1 or 2 days, but then he played ball, and it was fun. You know, it was like all the actors. We did big shootouts. I think the shootout in front of the mine of Alone in the Dark is still in Vancouver listed as one of the biggest, like where ammunition was shot, like the biggest amount of bullets in history here. We had like, I think, 40, 50 automatic weapons shooting at the same time for minutes and minutes and minutes. And it was great. I loved shooting the movie. I think in retrospective, Lionsgate did a very bad job in releasing the movie. I didn't like the trailer. I didn't like the poster because they did an Alien spin-off poster, basically.
Oh,
with
yeah.
the X-ray thing in the chest. I didn't really like that. I said also that is actually not really what the movie's about. And so, you know, it was, I don't know, it was all like a little fucked up. And but the video results at this point of that movie were huge. I think they did like 20 million on video. So it's not like overall like a total financial disaster, basically.
You also did Blood Rain, and you worked with Christina Loken and Michael Madsen, Ben Kingsley, Michelle Rodriguez. You had a great cast in that. What was the experience like in that movie?
I mean, Blood Rain, all three Blood Rain movies were like really, really horrific to shoot, but for totally different reasons. It was just in Romania. That shoot took a long time. It didn't really worked really good. Everything was delayed, and the food was horrific in Romania. So the whole mood shooting the movie was not really, really good. But Christina Loken, she is an absolute super game player. And she did the nudity. She's good in horse riding, good in sword fighting. So it was a lot of fun to work with her. But there were so many different characters on set. You know, Michelle Rodriguez she was like rewriting the script overnight. And then I told her always like, yeah, but if you rewrite it overnight, that means not that everybody else knows it, right? So, I mean, if all the other actors still want to shoot the other scene how it was written in the script, and you have your new pages, it will not end up in something we can use. And she started to change a lot of things in it. And that was a little exhausting. And then Michael Madsen, he's a super nice guy, but he was drunk and then moody, and also he did takes not like one take was this way, the other take was that way. The other actors don't know what he's doing, and there was so many different Billy Zane, Meatloaf, Ben Kingsley, crazy how many actors, known actors were in it. The daughter from Charlie Chaplin.
Oh yeah.
So it's amazing, and it's a great cast for a movie like this. I don't think there's any other like vampire action movie with this enormous amount of names in it.
Ben Kingsley, easy to work with?
Yes, I mean he's a pro, right? So he's totally prepared and he delivers. I mean it's tough, I think, to get out of him something else.
Yeah.
As what he delivers, I don't think he's emotionally like digging really deep in a part, but he's an excellent actor, and he can just get the job done.
You also,
I mean, I'm not a fan. Like, I'm not like an illusion that I think Ben Kingsley is doing a movie like Blood Rain because he loves it so much. I mean, it is clear that he's doing that kind of movie only because he wants to get the money.
Yeah. You also did In the Name of the King, and you had Jason Statham. That was an early one for him.
I mean, that was right after Transporter 1, and he was a rising star. I know he told me he hates movies like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. He doesn't want to do it. But his management told him, like, why always shooting... He basically plays the same guy in all his movies. And I mean, Transporter or Expendables or whatever is always exactly the same guy. And I felt here, I told him, like, look, you play a family father who's losing his family, losing his son. It's a little more emotions. It's kind of a more period piece as fantasy. There are no monsters in Dungeon Siege. They're only like the crack soldiers. But I said, see it more like a movie like Braveheart meets Lord of the Rings and try to do it this way. And, I mean, to shoot with him was super. Like, he is so easygoing, super nice guy, super sportive, can do almost all his stunts on his own. I absolutely loved working with him. Also with Ron Perlman, who was there. He and Claire Forlani, Lily Sobieski, Jonathan Rhys-Davies.
Burt Reynolds?
Yeah, Burt Reynolds is not easy to work with, but it has to do with he was already a little older, and there was a scene he was like swinging his sword, and then he passed out and fell from the platform, and our stunt coordinator had to catch him. So it was a little dangerous because in his costume it was kind of warm, and so it was a little creepy.
Claire Forlani, she really, really hot in person?
Yeah, and I mean, but also her career, you know, like when we had her career was really, really high up, you know, and but where is she now? I mean, I think she's doing TV now. So
she's beautiful. Lily Sobieski, she was in Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah,
she's interesting. She easy to work with?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Super easy to work with, and I really, as a person, I totally liked her. Super nice, super professional, and I would, in a heartbeat, work with her again.
And of course, you're also another one of your well-known movies is Postal. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, Postal is one of my absolute favorite movies, and I ever did. And it was after a long term of where I did that video game-based movies, I felt I want to do a movie what is more personal to me. I want to go back to writing also, and that is what I did with Postal. I wrote the script. I came basically back to my roots. And I mean, I really, really enjoyed that movie, to do the movie and to really go ruthless and criticize the whole politics after 9/11, basically, and summarize all of this up. You know, it's I still love Postal, and I'm still pissed that we couldn't get in a way, a second part going.
I love the poster for it.
Yeah.
That's a great poster.
Yeah, you mean with the Bush and Bin Laden hand in hand in the nuclear fallout, or the other one, where they were all like, all the people were standing
all
there
the people.
Yeah.
Although George W. Bush, well, pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean,
He was not my favorite president.
No, but his double, who is dead, by the way, he died last year, was amazing. I mean, he really, really looked at him. I think if you would send him somewhere and don't tell people, they totally would never get it.
I like one of my favorite titles of your list, Blubberella. I've never seen this, and I was looking through your credits, and I was like, why did I not hear of this?
That is out E1 or Phase 4 in US released it. You should check on eBay or Amazon. It should be somewhere. And we shot it during Blood Rain 3 in Europe, and it was with. I loved Lindsay Hollister. She was in Postal, and I felt like I should do something with her. She's so comedian, like talent. She was also in I Smart with Steve Carell.
Okay. Yeah, I Spy.
Also, he plays the James Bond guy. He is doing a dance with her, and I mean, it's really like she's a sensational comedian, and I felt like I want to do something with her, and here with Blubberella was in a way the concept, like we do an overweight superhero who has the normal problems of an overweight person, basically, but she's still a superhero and half a vampire. So, and I mean, it's very dirty humor, but I really liked it.
Speaking of superheroes and films that don't get a very good release, did you see SwearNet?
No.
No? Are you familiar with the Trailer Park Boys?
Yes.
I love them. I love the Trailer Park Boys. And boy, I wish they'd get a little more respect in the United States, you know. But I saw SwearNet, and that was basically their movie about the internet. And I guess a superhero in it was Swearman, played by Pat Roach. And that film, we only had that for like a week or something like that. And I'm going to tell you, it didn't go very far in the States, but I saw it. Shiloh hated it. I loved it. I laughed my ass off.
Yeah, I didn't saw it so far.
Did you see any of the Trailer Park Boys movies?
Yes. Yeah.
You go work with them?
I would, but I need the right thing for them, right?
Yeah. I think they're great. A couple other names I want to ask you about. Jodelle Ferland. Now, I just found out who she was a few years ago when she did Case 39, and I can't believe this year she's 20 years old, and she looks so friggin' young.
No, I know. It's like I mean, I had her only as a girl, right, in Seed, and it was for me like I saw her at a film party later, and she was already turned into a teenager, and I like oh my God, I said like unbelievable, you know. So she's a woman now, and she's a super talented, excellent actress, and I think even as an adult she should have. It should be like she should turn into a star at one point.
She looks like somebody who, you know how they sometimes in these teen movies, they cast actors who don't look like teenagers? Well, with her, she actually still looks like a teenager. She fit that bill.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's no insult to her. She's lovely, but I couldn't believe when I discovered how old she is. You also worked with Catherine Isabel, of course, famous for Ginger Snaps. She's interesting.
Yeah, she was in Rampage 1.
Yep.
And, I mean, also super good to work with. She's also friend with Brandon Fletcher. So that was all very positive. And so I would have worked with her again, but I didn't have the right project, basically, for her.
Is there any people in the business that you'd like to work with? If you had the chance, who would you like to work with?
Oh, it really depends on the movie, right? So, I mean, of course, I want to work with all the people, they make you automatic sales. You know, like I'm a producer and director, so I always hope that we basically get big actors for the parts and are able to get more attention based on the big actor names. As I said before, it's kind of depressing that it is like this, but what should we do, right? So that is how the business goes, basically.
Well, you know, sometimes it's longevity that speaks. Like I remember in 1998, one of the highest grossing films was a piece of junk like Armageddon, And yet, Big Lebowski, broke even. But yet here we are all these years later, and Armageddon's considered a joke, and The Big Lebowski is pretty much a classic now.
Absolutely. But it was a Coen Brother movie, and it got attention from the beginning on.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the Coen brothers, they're much better filmmakers than Michael Bay. That's a given.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You,
Yeah. They also don't sell out, right? So I like them, They always bring stuff what is surprising, what is not like just they deliver something and they don't care about it. And that is, it's, I can only imagine it gets harder for them, too, to get the stuff done.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Have you, is there anything this year you've seen that you enjoyed?
I mean, like what I just said, The Captive, what I watched.
Yeah.
I liked it a few days before. I watched The Drop with Tom Hardy.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, I liked that too. I mean, it was a very slow pace, but it was good, like a well-thought movie. Yesterday, I watched Kill the Messenger with Jeremy Renner.
Okay.
And about that journalist who came out with the story. It's a true story. So he found out that the Contras in one Latin America state, they got supported by the CIA, and they organized the drug trafficking with them. And he broke the story, and then he completely got trashed from everybody, lost his job, in the end he did suicide. And they warned him before, like, if you release stuff against the CIA, we will like kill you like a cockroach, basically. And then they worked on to destroy his reputation. The family fell apart. And I mean, the real downfall they don't show in the movie. It's in the end credits that the guy shot himself 6 years later. But it was an interesting movie. I like this kind of movies based on facts or based on like gangster stories and stuff like this. I'm always a big fan of that kind of genre. And it didn't. I don't know. It didn't really emotionally got me. I think Jeremy Renner is a good actor, but he's not like really like, I don't know. He doesn't have that what other actors have, what a Matt Damon would have. If Matt Damon would play that part, you would be way more emotionally involved.
Exactly.
So that is the difference, and it's like kind of. But I would still love to work with Jeremy Renner too.
I wanted to ask you about these boxing matches you've had. Did you want to talk about those?
Yeah, no problem.
What, who, is there any, I'm trying to think who you sent the challenge. I know Michael Bay came back with a snarky comment to you, but I think Eli Roth kind of laughed it off. I think he's got a good sense of humor, but give us a little detail on that.
No, I mean that was the fight against the critics, because after Blood Rain came out, I got the same reviews like I got for Alone in the Dark or House of the Dead, like the worst movie ever, blah blah blah. And I felt like most of the reviewers at this point in my career, they didn't even watch the movies. They just wrote the same stuff they wrote before. Uwe Boll, The Raspberries, he's the worst director, blah blah blah. And when I confronted them, a lot of people didn't even know the movies, didn't even watch it, or whatever. If you go on IMDb and you look up pieces of shit like Elektra, and they have 6.2.
Oh, that was a terrible movie.
And comes and has 2.1 voting. That is what I always pointed out to a lot of people. Say, look, you don't see that is a little unfair. I mean, of course, Alone in the Dark or Blood Rain is not Schindler's List or whatever, right? Like great movies. It's not Dances with Wolves, but compare it to other movies of the genre, and maybe not the masterpieces of the genre. Compare something not with Aliens, compare it with Daredevil.
Yeah.
So, and then you see that movies made by studios got way better reviews even if they are the same kind of quality and not 1% better, but they got better reviews because the reviewers are biased basically there and bought too, And as an independent, you're kind of helpless in the, like people go after you because they think, oh, if Boll suffers, I still get the invitations to the next parties from the major studios.
Well, Shiloh and I are both film critics, and I have to tell you, I've never reviewed one of your movies because when I do a review, I have to see it at a screening, like at the theater. And strangely enough, we never get your movies.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had one of your movies up there, not to my recollection. Now, Shiloh, he's been to Montreal and he's been to Toronto, and I know he loves Alone in the Dark. He's got a T-shirt with it on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean it was like Alone in the Dark was released big of 2,500 screens, but it also like Lionsgate that was dropped out of 1,000 screens within a week. So they didn't really try to keep it the bookings going, and they just dropped it.
Well, here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, we didn't even get Birdman and Selma. I mean, that's. Yet we got Jurassic World, I think it was, on 4 screens, and we got 10-screen theater and movies on 4 screens. And yet some of these movies like Birdman and Selma didn't even get. Had to go down to the university to see those.
What is with Whiplash?
Whiplash, loved it.
I loved it. I think that was way better as Birdman, to be honest. I think that was a really good movie. It was intense. It was a subject matter where you don't think in the beginning, it will grab you. And I think that was like story-wise, it just got me way more as Birdman. I loved Birdman for the first 30 minutes, and then I really didn't care anymore.
I got a big Emma Stone crush, though. So
yeah, okay, that is a little different, but it was kind of. I mean, for what, right? So that was my biggest problem with Birdman is they make a big drama out of something what doesn't matter.
I thought it was very innovative the way he shot it, though.
No,
I did enjoy it.
Always. He's doing it with all the movies he's doing it. The fake one-shot scenario.
Oh, I haven't seen any of his other movies, so...
No, but look, Gravity or whatever, and City of whatever that was, what he did there. The Children of Man. I love it. I mean, I like the subject matters. I like his style. I like it, but it's like kind of redundant. If you say as a director, I shoot a movie in one shot. I mean, we're faking it with invisible editing and CGI, but I mean, the joke is gone. And I heard because Brandon Fletcher from Rampage has a big part in The Reverend.
Okay.
With Leonardo DiCaprio, the next movie he did, and they did the same thing again in the Western.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think the joke is told. I mean, just tell the story. You don't have to figure out how to do it in one shot.
But I agree, Whiplash was fantastic, though.
Yeah, I really liked it because it was also on the point. It was really, really good. And that young actor, I mean, I don't know who they did it, but if he was playing that drums, that was amazing.
Yes.
He could play in any rock band after that movie without a problem.
Well, we have the Silver Wave Film Festival coming up in November. I just wonder, have you ever been to Fredericton, New Brunswick before?
No, but the chance that I come is low because in November I have to be at AFM.
Okay.
In L.A. It's the only and biggest film market I have to be every year. And it's tough for me to just say I come to that film festival.
Well, before we let you go, I got 2 things. Number one, I know Shiloh and I might want to get an autographed picture or something from you. Do I just email you or what?
Yeah, I mean, you can, if you send me your mail address,
okay,
I just mail it over to you.
I can do that, yeah. Shiloh regrets not being able. He really had something urgent that he couldn't be here, but he sends all goodwill to you.
Very good.
And I was wondering, before you sign off, could you do a promo for our show here?
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, just say, introduce yourself and say you're listening to Python's Paradise on CHSR FM in Fredericton.
Okay, wait. That I have to write down.
Okay.
So, wait. CH
SR
SR
FM, yeah.
FM.
Yep. And the show is Python's Paradise.
Michelle's?
Python. Python like the snake.
Yeah, Python. Yeah,
Python's Paradise.
Python's Paradise, yeah.
And just say that you're listening to Python's Paradise and CHSR FM in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Just introduce yourself first. And
Absolutely.
Sure.
So, hi, here's Uwe Boll, and you listen to Python's Paradise on CHSR FM in New Brunswick and, the town, say the town again.
Fredericton.
So, here's Uwe Boll, and you listen to Python's Paradise on CHSR FM in New Brunswick, Frederickstown.
Thank you so much, Uwe Boll.
Sorry about it.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Uwe, it was so nice to have you take some time out of your busy schedule to come on and talk to us. And I hope that, is there anywhere, do you got anywhere where people can support Rampage 3? Is that still open for you?
Yeah, we had the Indiegogo campaign going where we raised $8,000, and it's all gone, of course. But still, if you want to support Rampage, you can contact me via our website, eventfilm.us. It's like one word, eventfilm.us. There is the contact info. Just send us an email, and all the perks we had up on the Kickstarter and so on, you still can buy up front, and you can even be an extra on set and stuff like this. So we will shoot actually starting January 3. So very early in the new year, and if people want to come up to Vancouver to be a cop or a SWAT guy, whatever, we can all arrange that. But you have to be basically in an airplane right after New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I wish I could make it. I won't be able to do that, but I'll tell you what, I wish you the very, very best.
Thank you so much.
I really do. Thank you for coming on here and talking to us, and I wish you the best in the future.
Thank you.
I wish you a very good day, and God
good.
bless.
Thank you so much. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Yeah, bye.